There we go. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to In Between Hairstylists. My name is Isabel Filion, and I am your host today. The intention for making this show In Between Hairstylists is to give you, listener and viewer, a platform especially designed for hairstylists to connect and to talk about relevant subject in our industry. I care so much about the industry that I really want to give back. And if you are a hairstylist, a hair colorist, or a barber, you are on the right platform. You're here with us, and we're going to make sure that we're going to motivate you, inspire you, give you some tools to get you back in the salon, and maybe, hopefully for you to be successful at what you do. We care about our customers, and we want to make sure that we give them the best experience possible as it can be. Today, I'm excited because I am going to be interviewing master hairstylist Elizabeth Allen from Nova Scotia, Canada. And it's really exciting because she's been in the industry for over 40 years. I've known her for about 35. I was her personal assistant for a couple of years. So I worked closely with her. I always wanted to make sure at the time when I was her assistant to walk a step ahead. It was very important to prepare her and to make sure that it was to facilitate her work in the salon and make her life easy. So that was fun for me. And I am thrilled to have her on the show. We're going to have a great conversation. I have tons of questions to ask her. And I'm going to go right now and sign her in. So stay with me.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Elizabeth. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Pleasure. Always a pleasure. My honor.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure for me. It's been fun to reconnect with you. We've had a few conversations, and it's been really, really fun. I wanted to bring on a different conversation about the industry. There's a lot of things that is not being talked about. And it's important to talk about these things, especially for the newcomers coming up in the industry. So my first question is with you today is, there's a lot of hairstylists right now in the industry that are overwhelmed or stressed about their work. And so what kind of suggestion can you give them or recommendation to give them so their work could become a little bit easier and not so much of a burden, let's say?
So these are the stylists in the salon feeling overwhelmed?
Yes. And a lot of the times it's like new stylists that are new in the industry that don't have the experience that you and I have. So it's about giving them or equipping them with tools so they can, do their job better. So
right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that question. That's awesome. And of course, the pandemic. Let's throw that into the question, because if we talked about this question pre-pandemic, right, there would be a different answer. There'd be a different conversation. So post-pandemic, well, we're still in it. We're not over it yet, right? But
right.
I think right now, exactly like you said, we are overwhelmed, and sometimes we get a lot on our plate, right? So any kind of time management, put things into little bite-sized pieces, right? So whether it would be something you're going to accomplish in your day, in your week, in your month. So if it's a daily task, right? You might say, well, by the morning, I want to try and accomplish this. By the afternoon, I want to accomplish that. Give yourself a time frame. Don't just look at it as the whole picture.
Yeah.
Look at little bite-sized pieces that,
Being mindful.
yeah. And, this is what I want to accomplish today, or this is what I want to work on. And then how am I going to get to that goal?
Mhm.
How much time do I need? Are there other people involved that I need to help me to reach that goal? Is there, and then give it a time frame. Say, okay, I'm going to think about this for 1 hour or 15 minutes or whatever. And then you're going to come back to that and say, okay, did I accomplish it? How did I do? Can I go on to the next one? Right. So keep it simple, keep it smart, keep the time frame. I think everybody's heard SMART, right? Specific, measurable, time frame, all that. But just don't get so overwhelmed in terms of the whole of it. Um, Start your task off what one you want to accomplish first. Might be the easiest one that you want to accomplish first, or it might be the hardest one you want. It's like, I've got the energy today, I feel good today. Today I'm going to go for the hardest thing that I have to get done on my list, right? And then you might go to the easiest. So you can look at it in that respect, and
Yeah.
just make sure that you are in a good mindset too to
Right. Right.
getting your tasks, right?
Right. So we talked about. I know I've shared with you that there's a huge labor shortage in the industry across Canada.
Mhm.
That puts a lot of pressure on us that works in the hair industry, especially in the salon.
Mhm.
So, what can we do about this?
Well, I think as we've been chatting and, prior to our meeting today, um, I think we have to get excited about the industry again. You know what I mean? Like, get the young people excited about our industry, because we're in the best industry in the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, who would want to be? I mean, I remember even when I met my husband, 23 years ago. He's a plumber, right? And he was like so excited for me because I was so excited about my industry. He was like, well, maybe I want to be a hairdresser too. I'm like, only one hairdresser per family, right? But if you, I think if you are excited about it, then maybe we should, work with the schools, work with high schools, show what our industry is really all about,
Yeah.
maybe do some kind of demonstrations or talk to some of the teachers to see how can we give inspiration and help them to understand what our industry is all about, because maybe some people don't understand. They think, oh, you play with hair, right? Which we do. But what's the potential of hairdressing? What could I get out of it? What could I receive? What could I potentially get myself?
What's amazing about our industry, Liz, is because we have the potential to make people beautiful, right? We have the potential to change people's day. Most of us, generally, we're good listener, so we listen carefully, and a lot of people will share sometimes some very specific details about their life. So I don't want to say that we are a counselor, but we help or we facilitate that, right?
Yes.
So it's interesting. But in regards to the labor shortage, I think there's more promotion that needs to be done at a lower level, which is at the high school level,
Yeah.
right? Uh, Talking about
And give them the options, right?
exactly. And then you mentioned about in our conversation prior to today about Skill Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can want to add a little bit about Skill Canada, what do you think they need to do about this?
Well, I do have one particular friend that does work with Skills Canada, but I think with the pandemic, things have come to a standstill, right? Because
For sure.
groups of people come together is not an option right now. But I think if there were, through our association, even each province, I know here in Nova Scotia we have the Cosmetology Association. I think there is, people that could probably network with Skills Canada. I know there's a gal in our area here in the Yarmouth area. She was doing a lot of work with Skills Canada. She was working in the hair school as well in that area. So I must find some more information for you on that topic, because it's a whole body of work that when you get more people coming together with ideas, then we can work together for a better outcome.
Right.
So, Skills Canada, myself, I know they were holding things a couple times a year for competitions to get the high school kids to come and that kind of thing, to see all of the avenues of, trades, right? Like the
Right.
trades out there. So, they were giving them the information, and I think they made it kind of fun with competition.
Yeah.
So that's to my little bit of knowledge that I have about that. But I can find more information for you on that topic once
Yeah.
I do get a hold of my friend that does work roundabout through his company and Skills Canada, because I think all that's going to be revisited now once the pandemic kind of subsides a little bit, and once, let's hope this goes away.
Yeah.
We can get back to a new normal, which we'll definitely probably won't be going back to an old normal. That's not going to happen. I think it's going to be a new normal, which will be a fresh set of eyes, a fresh set of, new challenges, new beginnings, right? Which can be exciting.
Yeah. I think what's really exciting in the industry right now is we have a lot of great products out there that we can use. Times have changed where when we started, we barely had any products to work with. We had to create new products with
Yes.
whatever we had. So, and I remember doing these very detailed color formula, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then now with the new student, they just, it's right there. They just pick up the tube and then they just do it. Like it just, so it's interesting. But and now with all the streetwear, like where, you see all these colors and different shades and things like that. It's interesting. New technology too. I'm so excited that there's a 10-minute product
Yeah.
color out there. 10 minutes. That's
Yeah.
unreal.
Like our day can be so much more smooth and so much more productive when we don't have to wait 30, 35, 40, 45 minutes, right? Like you've got a 10-minute color and you're good to go.
That's
So
so amazing, right?
we
It's
have all the tools to have all the success in the world, right?
yeah,
All the success in the world is so available,
yeah,
stylists today.
yeah. So I'm really, really exciting. I'm missing the live education out there, of
Yeah.
course. Hopefully, someday it will come again. And
Yeah.
that leads actually what I want to talk about the next level with you is you used to be an educator for many, many years. You traveled the world educating for Redken Canada in particular. So I want to talk to you about for newcomers in the industry, if they want to go in and say, okay, my goal someday, I want to be an educator for a hair company.
Right.
How do I go about this? What can I do to become an educator?
Surround yourself by people that can teach you the most. For number one, network within your area. So for myself, it was Redken, right? That was my company of choice. And they chose me because at the time, as a young stylist, I wanted to compete, which I think is a good thing to do. It challenges yourself, it challenges your skill, it gives you accreditation. You know, that person won first, that person won second, that person won third, right? And you won awards yourself. You've got lots of titles that from competition, and it's a good way to hone in your skills and to produce your work, and then your work gets judged, and then you can win awards, and then so that sort of gives you that accreditation, right?
Yeah.
But then people are watching that, like some of these companies watch the hair shows and watch who wins, who's moving and shaking, who's the one that's out there putting themselves out there and putting their work out there, um, and just making sure that if you want to work in that avenue, that takes a lot of passion, that
Mhm.
takes time, that takes money, that takes skill, that takes knowledge, and surrounding yourself by people that can coach you, that can guide you, right? From previous competitions, from previous like Contessa's, right? That's you've won Contessa's,
Yeah.
and that title sort of bears some weight to say, okay, this person, has the ability, or this person has, a good reputation, right, in the industry. So it elevates, it gives you,
I
it's
totally
elevating,
agree.
right?
Yeah.
And
On every level too. Because it's so important, especially when in for your work in a salon. Because if your client know that you're working for a company, or they know that you compete, and they know that you're fully committed into your industry,
how
then what happened is they trust you, they believe in you, and that will change your relationship with your client, right?
that's
And
right.
then they will allow you to do things. So
Yeah.
it's cool. Like it goes.
The winner, right? We all want to be around winners, or we all want the best, right? Like, um, in any industry, right? You want the best of the best of the best, right? I want the best hair cutter. I want the best colorist. I want the best doctor to do that surgery. I want the best dentist to do my work, right? So in every industry, we sort of source out or seek out the best of the best of the best. So in terms of getting into the industry, um, surround yourself by some of those people. Maybe too, once we get back into hair shows where people can come together, volunteer.
Absolutely.
Wash the towels, shampoo the hair, sweep
Yeah.
up the hair. Be around people that are moving and shaking, right? Um,
Right.
be around those people that you would like to mentor you, right? Like, can I hang with you at the hair show? Can I hang with you in the salon? Could I watch what you do during the course of a day? Can I watch how you talk to people? Can I watch how you handle your clients? And then, volunteer yourself at hair shows or classes, or network with your distributor, right? Your local distributor. We have Maritime Beauty here. We have Cosmo Prof. Those are the houses that have all that wealth of knowledge of all the products, all the people in the industry, all the movers and shakers, all the people that own the companies, right? And just kind of get yourself in there and put
Right.
yourself out there, right? Put yourself out there and say, hey, I'm available. Can I watch? Can I
How
help?
can I help?
Can I carry all your boxes? Can I carry your tool bag? Right? And
Yeah.
start seeing if it's what you like, and seeing if that, how hair shows really behind the scenes, right? I mean, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They think, poof,
True.
you put this show on and you walk out there and you do some talking and you cut some hair. But
Yeah.
there's so many people
I agree.
support you behind to so that you're able to go out there and to present your work, right?
Yeah.
So
I love
A lot
that.
of components, a lot of components, but get somebody that you can buddy up with,
Yeah,
and mentor up with and say, hey, I'd really like to hang with you for a little while. I want to pick your brain, right? I want to pick with your brain and see what's in that head of yours, right?
exactly. Exactly. I was involved in the world of competition for a long, long time, and I love the fact that I always wanted to be the best as I can be. So I pushed myself, right?
Yeah.
And so when you push yourself and you're open mind, then you learn more, and that work comes back into the salon and makes you more creative,
Yeah.
right? I loved when I worked on my days platform work. What I loved the most, it was the community behind the scene. Because you're right, working behind the scene, you
Mhm.
learn as much as working in front on the podium and teaching. And
But
so,
remember too, Isabel, I mean, I've known you for 35 years. And I mean, I remember the day you walked into Sheer Talent and you walked into the salon looking for a job. And I had such a good feeling about you. And you had such a good attitude, right?
right,
And that is what's going to make the difference. Why do you want to be mediocre? Why do you want to be like everybody else? Why don't you want to, excel, grow, and look at all the things that you've accomplished, right? So
right,
some stylists maybe don't want that, right? But some stylists do. That's your choice. That's your choice 100%. It's your career. It's your at the end of the day, it's what you choose. But really, it's the attitude, right? Like get
that,
that good attitude in check, and that will take you places and go places you've never been before, right?
right, exactly. Oh, that's so great. Uh, when you worked on the platform, when you traveled the world, what was it that you liked to do the most? Like, did you do hair cutting the most? Did you do styling, or like maybe the color? Like, I'm not sure what you were doing. I know you did a lot of cutting.
Yeah.
So,
It depended on what the event was, right? So sometime you might have done a big hair show, on main stage platform, like a lot of Redken symposiums. I got a chance to do, which I'm grateful for. I got to travel to a lot of countries to represent Redken and to present the product to the
this,
country, to the area that I was, to the city where I was. Or sometimes you might be in an in salon cutting program, you might be in a workshop, right? So there's so many different places that you can showcase your work, right? So it depended on what the event was and
right,
what was the point, what was the teaching point, what is our goal here that we are trying to do with this particular program, this particular show, this particular event. So you had to make sure that you had the right stuff going in.
right,
So whether it was going to be trends, whether it was going to be a hair cutting event, whether it was going to showcase the new color or new products, or might be a long hair styling class, right? So um, all of those, I mean, and you see, this is where your hair career, the industry, there's so many avenues you can go into, right? And you can be an expert at one little thing. You
exactly.
be the queen of, hair,
Doing long hair.
or you might be like, you might be an expert in curly hair, right? So find out what you have passion for, and find out what you enjoy teaching, and find out what you want to talk about, and then be the expert in that, right? Like, and then when we were doing the program, so we were given guidance from head office, right? Here's what our show is going to be, here's the event, here's the people that are going to be here working on the show. These are so you have a pre and a post show meeting, right? So
Yeah,
this is what we want out of our show today. Here's our theme, here's the music, here's the costume, here's our makeup artist, here's our music, and then we put the show together, which was an overwhelming number of people that come together to produce that show, which was exciting because it was kind of like everybody was part of the band.
Yeah.
And the band came together and we made this beautiful music together and we produced this beautiful show together.
Yeah.
But it depends on what the event is and what that focus was of that event, right?
Yeah. The reason why I'm asking for our viewer, it's because maybe there is somebody out there who's just coming out of school, hearing this and say, you know what, this is what I want to do.
My dream.
My dream. I want to be a platform artist and I'm going to work hard to get there. What do I need to do? And that's why I wanted to create this conversation, because to just tell the younger generation, hey, this is what you need to do to get there.
Right. And start with, like I say, baby steps, right? Start with surrounding yourself by people that can teach you about. Surround yourself with those people that are in the industry. Take them for coffee, pick their brain, ask to mentor them in the salon one day. You might want to go and hang out with them, or have a conversation with your distributor, have a conversation with, definitely do some competing. Definitely make sure your skills are there.
Yes.
Your work stands for itself, right?
Yeah.
So make sure your skills are the best that they can be. And if they're not the best that they can be, who can I go to get the best skills?
That's
what
right.
do I need to take? What company do I need to surround myself with? Make sure your knowledge is spot on, right? Because a lot of you have to back that with science. You have to back that with knowledge. You got to know what's in that bottle. You got to know what's in that jar. You got to know what's in that tube of color, right?
That's right.
You need to know the information. So knowledge is very powerful. Make sure you're taking appropriate classes. Make sure you're taking as much knowledge as you can. And of course, attitude. Get a good attitude, right? Like, make sure make sure you're an open person. Make sure you're a person that's open to change, right? Because if
that means
inevitable is change, right?
Yeah. So that means
right?
Keep yourself with a growth mindset instead of having your fixed mindset, because when you have your fixed mindset, then you're closing yourself in and you're not learning anything. But when you're having the growth mindset, then you go ahead and you always want more, and you want to, get educated, and you want to do better work, and you want to, excel. The beauty about our industry is there's so many different avenues that you can go into, and it's to really channel yourself into those avenues along the way. I think that's probably why we've lasted so long, is because we have taking some different avenues other than just working in a salon. But some people just love that kind of atmosphere, and they love to work in the salon and be there, surround yourself with their coworkers, and that's how they learn and grow, and that's fine.
And you might work behind the chair for a certain number of years, and then you might not work behind the chair for some certain number of years. You might decide to go into management. You might decide to go into teaching. You might decide to go, maybe you want to be the receptionist at the salon. Maybe you want to work as a sales educator, work with the distributor, right? There's a lot of, there's a lot of areas that you can go to with your license, with your level, with your experience of this industry. It's pretty vast, right? I mean, then, you could even go into image consulting. You could go into styling, for red carpet hair. You can go into
movie sets,
wardrobing somebody for, events, Christmas parties. Sometimes I've done that where somebody said, I've got this important meeting or I've got this important event that I'm going to. Hopefully we'll get back to that. And they're like, I got all this closet full of clothes and I don't know what to wear. Liz, come dress me, come do me. Cause I put the image together, right? Cause sometimes you want to walk into a room and you want to be noticed, or sometimes you want to come in soft and subtle, right? So
Yes.
from one little license or from one industry, there's so many more branches that go from that industry, right?
I want to make it fun. I want this to be fun. So
Yeah,
let's do something fun. Do you have a favorite product out there right now that you really, really love?
lots of favorite products actually. Uh, I mean, of course, I'm a Redken girl. I'm a Redken girl since 1988. And I mean, I love how products come and go and things change. I mean, there's been products that I've loved
I
that
know, eh?
continued and you're like, oh, what? But there's products that come back around again. They reinvent it, right? So you can see how whether they change the packaging or they change the smell or the fragrance. But I think right now,
What's
for
your favorite product? Come on, come
in
on.
this area right now, and I've got them right here with me because they are my favorite products. And of course, for my hair, which is naturally curly, and I live in the East Coast, so we have a lot of humidity. We have a lot of, weather related. So I have to say, my whole favorite line is the Frizz Dismiss. I love the shampoo. I love the conditioner, and I love the the treatment. Hang on, I'll grab it. Those are my because where I live, we do
Yeah,
have a lot of humidity. So I think you have to look at wherever you live in Canada, which is
exactly.
uh, the weather can change from coast to coast to coast, but we definitely had a lot of rain this summer and a lot of humidity. So that was my go-to product was my Frizz Dismiss, and I really love the smell. I mean, anytime whatever brings back a memory is the smell, right? Like, oh, I remember that. Ah, I love that, right? So those are things that people gravitate towards when they're purchasing things too. Is like the lather, the smell, the bottle, the shape. How does everything feel and look? So that is one of my favorite products right now. And also one of the new products that just came out, which I just started using, is volume, because we all want volume, and I'm trying to get that towards the camera there. So this one has it's like thickening, adding. Who doesn't want to have volume in their hair right now? We're seeing a lot of bigger trends with hair, a lot of texture.
Curly, eh? A lot more curls.
Oh,
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm pretty excited about that.
so
It's so cute because there's like a lot of there's
lightweight too, which is it doesn't weigh the hair down. It's not greasy, and it does have a nice, again, floral fragrance. So to me, I always get drawn towards like a nice scent, right?
yeah.
Not overwhelming too, right? Not something that's not going to overwhelm.
What I think is really cute is we came out in a time where we were doing tons and tons of perm and spiral perms particularly. So what's really funny right now is all those boys want to have like short hair cutaway hair, and then they want curl and they want perm. It's so cute.
I've
But
seen a few on Instagram and Facebook that these young boys want that curly sort of mop
yeah,
top, or mullet. Like, it's crazy what goes around, it comes around again and again and again. Like,
right.
we'll
But
see.
what's so fresh though is because this new generation, they don't have that picture of all the bad perm and the bad texture and so they're curious about it. They want to know more. And so
Right.
that's refreshing in some way. It's really
Yeah.
exciting.
I think
But
I don't have
I
perm rods anymore. I think I gave them all away because I can't even tell you the last time I've ever done a perm, which would be exciting to, work with again. But again, though, see, then you have to be careful because when you've got a lot of color and a lot of bleach and a lot of these crazy colors going on, and then you add another level and, you're adding perm and you're adding another chemical, that's where you really have to know your science. You really have to know your chemistry because you do want the hair to stay on the head.
Yeah,
Right?
correct.
Not
Yeah.
on the floor.
Over the years, I've had my favorite product, which is I've done a video for my client actually on YouTube. One of my favorite hair products ultimately is Shaper Plus hairspray.
Oh yeah,
And is my
Sebastian.
yeah from
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
That what?
I
Oh.
love it so much. I even named my kid after it. So that's funny. Anyway, but now I've discovered this new product. I'm loving it so much. It's Joico. It's Defy Damage, and it's a protective, heat protecting cream
Uh-huh.
and UVA also. I love it so much. I'm going to show it to you again. I have very fine hair,
Yes.
and oop, oop, there you go.
Gotcha.
Defy damage. And so what happened is that I have very fine hair, and this product is so nice and smooth. It makes my hair very fuller and smoother, and I appreciate this product so much. So
And I like one too in a different line,
there
right?
we go.
And you like one too for, volume and fine hair.
Yeah, there
Don't
we
you
go.
find naturally curly hair clients and fine hair clients are in search of two things? They're in search of that perfect product
Yeah.
and they're in search of that perfect haircut, right? So if you look at your clientele and you see a lot of fine hair and a lot of naturally curly hair clients or guests, you're doing something right because they are ultimately, they come in the door with their problem and you need to solve their problem, right? So with your
100%.
tools and your skill and your knowledge and your great attitude, they're going to be bouncing out the door because you've solved their problem, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's,
there's lots of wonderful products out there, and there's lots of and there's new companies growing all the time, like Verb, and just the other day, like a whole new everything from skincare to nails now is a huge industry with new products coming out. So it's hard to stay on top of it all. Uh,
correct.
but there again, you network with the person at your distributor, you network with your company that you deal with or you work with on a regular basis, and those people are your guidance to make sure that you're in the know of what some of the new products are, or in know when the classes become available, so that you can get product knowledge classes, you can get some skill and knowledge classes under your belt, right? So that's what you give to your customer when they come in the door.
Right. Because you're right. It could be a little bit overwhelming when you
Yeah.
go into a store and you see the amount of product, where to go, like what to use. And so you have to be just focused on what you want out of a product. Really.
Right. Well, too, if you ever go to Shoppers Drug Mart, right, and you just kind of wander through the aisles of beauty and the makeup and
Overwhelming.
the hair color and then the nails and then the lashes, it has exploded, right?
Uh,
Because everything, we're all selfies and Instagram and Facebook, right? And everybody's putting their work out there, or, presenting themselves on social media. So there's all the tools, right? So it can be overwhelming for the consumer to go to the local drugstore and like, well, what do I use, right? So as the hair expert, or as the expert in, personal styling, personal image, we kind of got to know what's out there too, right?
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I love my Redken. I've always enjoyed working with Redken. And you try other products and you compare notes and you try something. You might get a sample of something and try that. And you know, it's a whole package that when that guest comes into the studio, you're ready to, you know, help them with their problem or their situation with their hair or whatever.
Exactly.
But it's a lot now. Like, I mean, it is ongoing and it changes all the time, right?
Yeah. I think what's important is that you got to remember that clients are curious,
Totally.
not especially clients with naturally curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
They want their problem to be fixed. So what's important as a stylist, I think it is to really make sure number one, you know your products well. Number two, know your products that work with different type of hair.
100%.
Yes. Number three, your responsibility is to educate your customer, to give them the information. And then with the information, they have the choice to decide if they want to buy it or not. But if you've done that, you've done your job well. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And that's what brings you the joy and the passion of your industry is to say, wow, I really helped her with her image. I really helped her be great. And you know, when they're bouncing out the salon and they're, oh, I love my hair, I love my hair, I love my hair. You feel so good, right? It's like
You've
awesome.
done your job. And that feels good because when at the end of the day, when you're walking out and you know that you have helped somebody,
Yeah.
like it's meaningful, right? Your job is, it
Yes.
just makes it. It makes your day,
And
right?
you know what I call it, Isabel, and I've called it this for years. I'm playing in my sandbox because I don't work. I play in my sandbox with my friends. My friends come and visit me, and we play with hair, right? And that's where I feel like it's not really work. And yes, it's a career, and it's providing me with my life and my lifestyle. But I get to have fun every day. I get to play with my tools and my products. I get to play with my scissors, and I get to do my craft. I get to do my job and my work, and I'm I play with hair all day, right? Like, what a great day! You can't not have a great day because you're working with people and
Yeah.
having
So
fun, right?
have fun.
And trying something new. Like, you know, sometimes you can just feel that when a guest comes into your salon and they're ready for change. Like right now with the season change, it's all about the colors are changing, the makeup's changing, our clothing's changing, our hair's changing. And if we're going into that new season of fall, and so everybody's kind of like, okay, I want something new, I want something different, like, and that's where it's like, yeah, okay,
Opportunities.
do this, we can do this, let's do this, let's do that, and it's just like you've got all this in, you got all this stuff in your pocket, and you just pull it out, right? And it's like, okay, let's create, let's have fun, let's play.
Yeah. I have clients that I change their look per seasons. That's so exciting because if they
Mm-hmm.
allow me to do this,
Yeah.
then it's really, really exciting. So in spring, I do something. In the summer, maybe something else. In the
Yeah.
fall,
Yeah.
because like we know we've been long enough in the industry that we know that by season people react differently, especially
Yeah.
in February when they get the blues of the winter and then they just can't stand their hair anymore and they want changes.
Yeah.
So that's one opportunity.
Air regime changes from spring to fall to winter, right? Because the season change, right? Like from humidity to no humidity, from dry hair to hair that doesn't need all that moisture. So the products have to keep changing. So we are our clients' consultant. We are consulting them season after season, year after year on their image, right? So we're
Yeah.
making them look the best that they can be. And whatever products we recommend, whatever styling tools, whatever styling tips, whatever hair color we end up styling with them, they're always coming back for more, coming back for more because we help them, we got them through their problem, their hair problem, and then you know, they're like, oh, right, you did it. You solved that problem. Great. And then you continue on down the journey, right? And do you still have clients from day one when you started doing hair?
Uh,
Like I live in Ottawa now, but like, I mean, I know when you were in Saskatoon, you had clients that you did from day one.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I did when I left Saskatchewan, there was client that I did for 17 years, like that long. Here, since we've moved here, I do have original clients. So it's been 10 years here.
And
So
that speaks volumes, doesn't it?
yeah.
Right?
So I love the fact that we're creating or developing relationship with our clients,
Mm-hmm.
which when you get to know your clients very well,
Yeah.
that's when you know how you can change their hair.
Yeah.
It's easier, right?
I,
And initial consultation, the very first consultation is one of the most important consultation you're going to have with that client, because that's when you start to learn about that person. What kind of client are you dealing with? Is
mm-hmm.
it 40? Is it a glamour? Is it a trendsetter? And
Mm-hmm.
then if you could distinguish those clients, then and do the hair accordingly to their
Are
personality.
they luxury lifestyle, right? Do they want the fundamental hair color? Do they want the luxury lifestyle hair color? Do they want the creative color? And it starts from the first meeting, and you build a rapport.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I
Exactly.
have one client that I have done her hair 40 years. And I did her hair in Saskatoon.
Yeah.
And years and years and years, I did her hair in Saskatoon. And then, of course, I left Saskatoon to move to Halifax 26 years ago. And shortly after, she's from Halifax, but she was living in Saskatoon working in the healthcare system there. And then I moved to Halifax. And then shortly after I moved to Halifax, she moved back home because she's a Haligonian. And she came back home to be with her mother. And now I do her hair again. So she is my longest
Wow.
term client because we both lived in both cities that I call home. Halifax I call home, and Saskatoon I call home. And she's lived with me in both, and I've both been her stylist for all those years in all those cities. But anyways, she just comes and sits in the chair, and it's hilarious because she goes, okay, she goes, Lizify me. Just Lizify me. Whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to do. Just do whatever you want. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
what
Exactly.
do I want to do today? Right? So here, 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 here. But, keeping it within the boundaries of, I understand her occupation. I understand her home life. I understand her lifestyle. I understand what type of products she has at home. I understand how she works with her hair at home. So, we're kind of like their coach, right? We guide them, we coach them, we recommend, we suggest. And when they have, more, they need more, they come back and, okay, what was that? What am I supposed to do? And then, yeah, so she's a riot. She's also my opera friend. So I just did her hair the other day, and I said, "Do you think we'll get back to the opera?" So the opera is live streamed from the Metropolitan Opera House in New York City. So in different theaters across Canada, you can actually go to the opera and watch it on HD, the big screen live stream. So hopefully that was one of the things we said. I hope we can finally get back to going to our operas, and we enjoy spending some time together. So a lot of times, our clients become good colleagues, good friends, good confidants, and
Yeah.
I have to say I'm so blessed. I can't believe that 40 years has gone by. I'm like, what? 40 years? What? Like, it was just yesterday, right? But
Yeah.
we were together in Saskatoon, and
Yeah.
life goes pretty fast, right? So you better enjoy what you do because life goes pretty fast.
Yeah. So one last question before
Okay.
we end this.
Okay. What you got?
What about the industry and your career, what is it that you love the most?
Oh, oh, you're gonna make me cry. Yeah, it's the people. I mean, it's the people that you meet. It's the lives that you touch, and
Right.
yeah, it's the people. Because without them, we're nothing. Like we're at a computer, looking at a computer, working on a computer, right?
Yep.
So
It's the connection with the people.
whether it's you know, clients, like other hair artists, right? Like, look at all the people we know through doing hair shows. Look at all the people that we know around the world. I mean, I look at my Facebook
Oh
list
yeah.
of friends, and I'm grateful. Friends in Japan and Australia, and friends around the world, friends in the USA and Canada and all over that I have spent time with, I have done work with, I have um, connected with. And, that's a blessing to really, there is no other industry like it. I mean, it is the greatest industry in the world, in my opinion. And I'm grateful I chose to be a hairdresser because it kind of came by fluke. It was actually my hairdresser who suggested for me to be a hairdresser. I was 16.
Wow.
And Pat Parsons in Saskatoon at the Hair Hut. I don't even know if she's still in Saskatoon. And she was my hairdresser. And I loved her because she was so cool and she always had cool hair. She always had something cool on. And she was, doing all fun things with my hair. And at the time, I didn't really know what I wanted to be. And she said, Liz, I think you should be a hairdresser. You love hair, you love makeup, you love fashion. You should be a hairdresser. And I was like, really? Really? And that's where it began.
Yeah.
So I think we've kind of come full circle now to that very first question you asked me. How
I,
people going into the industry is by inspiration, inspiring people to come into our
that's,
industry and giving them some guidance as to what this world of hair, the hair world, is all about.
that's so true.
It's a
I
great.
would agree with the connection. I think if I have a recommendation to make a viewer, especially people in the industry, would be to stay connected and connect yourself with, like now we have the ability to on Facebook, there's different group hairdressers or hairstylists of Canada or hairstylists of Ontario. I'm sure there's some for Halifax and Nova Scotia. So be connected with your peer. That's really, really important because if you have question, go ahead and reach out and go ask. How else can you get the information if you don't ask, right?
Now you answer that question. What is the one thing that inspires you about your career in your industry?
I think it's all the people that I've met along the way that I've and that I have connected with. Some people have really actively helped me to become who I am today as a hairstylist. It wasn't easy for me. I worked very, very hard,
You did.
but I did it because of pure love and joy for the industry. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so for my work and particularly for the client, because I care and I want my client to feel good, and I've seen the effect of my work. I've seen what it could do to somebody, especially now with the pandemic. Like when we started working for us in Ontario, it was last July, and people were coming in and they were tippy toeing and they didn't know how to act. And then it was like, okay, I had to guide people. Let's disinfect our hands. Let's fill up this form.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go for a consultation. I haven't seen you for a long time. Let's go for a consultation. It was almost like starting from at the beginning. And then I could feel the anxiety from my client, and it was my job to just calm them down and really, really relax them and just make them feel again at ease with the whole process, and that it was addressing their needs, right? And so, and the comment after I was done my work was that, do I ever feel good? And so that comment to me is worth everything.
1,000 comment. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I do my job
And
is to,
Isabel, you have always been that day since day one. And I am so proud of you.
oh, thank
I am
you.
so grateful you walked into that salon. You walked into Sheer Talent that day because I recognized your passion. I recognized your good heart, and I recognized your passion for the industry. And you've never lost that. And I'm so grateful. You
Oh,
have such a good heart, and
yeah.
you're such a wonderful person. And
Thank you.
you have touched so many lives. And I know that's also one of the reasons why you won Miss Saskatoon,
Oh,
because you were heads above. You were heads above. And it's because you had such a good heart and such a good person. And I am so proud of you. And
thank
so
you.
many years later, it warms my heart. I'm so grateful that we're still connected, and it's such a treat for me to see you grow, and you know, your beautiful family and your business, and you're happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I can't tell you how many times you hear, especially now with the pandemic, how unhappy people are.
Right.
And you just want to go, stop. There is no reason to be unhappy, right? Like, we have a beautiful life. We live in a great country. You know, life is short. Don't be, you know, go for it. You know, set your mind to something and go for it and do it. And if it's not the right path, and if it's not going well, switch it up and go in another direction, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but you got to
Um,
stuff too, right?
so thankful for having this conversation
Me
with you
too.
this today. It's been, a gem. It's been a pleasure to
My
have
pleasure.
this great conversation, and I really hope that we've inspired a few stylists here today.
Yes,
That's the main goal of creating this platform.
yes,
And also wanted to throw it out there that if anybody else in the industry would like to come on this show in between hairstylists and talk about the industry, if you have something to offer to the industry,
yeah.
reach out to me. I'd be so pleased to, you can send me a message under my business page, and I will reach out again to you and submit your proposal, and then we'll do it. We'll
Yeah.
talk. We'll get together. We'll talk, and then we'll make our
We have
industry
to
great again.
do. We'll have to do this again because,
Absolutely.
you know, you don't know what the world's going to look like 6 months from now or 1 year from now again, right? Like, I now know from the pandemic, I'm not ready to retire. I love people too much, and I love what I do too much. And we are an essential service. Like, all the guests that came in after not having the ability to do their own hair, it was such a relief for them. And they're always like,
Yeah.
you're an essential service. You should never be shut down again. You're an essential service. You should never be shut down again. And I agree.
I agree as well. We have the backup of our client, and people. I've had so many comments, but unfortunately, the governments probably
Right.
don't help
We
us.
have to do what they give us guidelines, and we have to follow protocol. We have
Protocol.
to follow what the people are in authority that, you know, make the rules, and we do have to follow with their guidance exactly what we cannot do. You know, COVID has been a game changer. So whatever COVID has taught you, whatever COVID has given to you, whether more of an appreciation for your family, your friends, your life, your career, you know, we are in the greatest industry in the world, and I can't wait to see even what the next 10 years are going to look like. And, in 10 years from now, if we come back and have the conversation, we'll say, remember when we were talking about that 10-minute hair color coming out?
It'll be some other technology that will be out there.
So, I mean, and just keep an open mind because everything's going to change. Change is always going to happen.
Yeah.
That's inevitable. Change happens, but
Yeah. We're going to end it this way. Thank you so
okay.
much. I've been blessed to have this
Thank you for
beautiful
having
conversation with you. Yeah.
And enjoy the rest of your day.
I,
And if anybody ever has any questions for us, feel free to reach out because we can help you with your questions. If we can't answer your questions, we'll try and find a resource for you and get back to you on that question later for so that we can help you and see if we can guide you through some different things. But thank you, Isabel.
you're very welcome. Mwah.
I love you.
Love you
Enjoy the
too.
rest of the day, and thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure to talk with you today.
Sounds great. I had a fun time too. Stay on. I'll talk to you.
Okay. Au
Bye.
revoir. Merci. Au revoir.
Oh.